Juliana Salazar here from VivaNaturally.com. Today I'm going to show you a quick, easy, and healthy oatmeal recipe as some of you requested. And to start off, I just want to say that oatmeal, it can be as simple and as complex as you want it to be. I like to add a different series of things that just help to boost the nutrition of the oatmeal bowl itself. So I'm going to show you what I like to eat, and I can eat at any time of the day, really breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even a snack. Depends on the portion, so you can really get creative in here. So to start off, you want to start with half a cup of filtered water. You want to bring it to a boil. Right now I have it in high, but I'm going to turn it down just a bit, down to medium, as I start to see I'm going to start to see it boil very soon. So as soon as the water starts to boil, you want to put in 3 tablespoons of old-fashioned oats. I don't like to use quick oats, just because there's better benefits of regular oats, and that's why you have to actually cook them this way and not microwave. I try not to use a microwave that much, so for that reason, old-fashioned oats are really just whole grain rolled oats. I like to go for organic as much as possible. This is Green Wise Publix brand, and it wasn't expensive at all. For those of you that think that maybe organic is a little bit expensive, it's definitely affordable. So I think I can see the water starting to boil just any second, so I'm going to start pouring in the 3 tablespoons of oats here. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oops. Now I'm going to turn down the heat. As soon as it starts to boil, you want to turn down the heat to medium. Mix it up a bit. Okay. And then let it cook a little more. While it's cooking, we want to add some cinnamon. I love cinnamon. I think I eat cinnamon a couple times a day if I could. So, alright, so this is organic ground cinnamon. I really don't measure my cinnamon amounts. I kind of eyeball things. So if you have a shaker like this, I usually do 3 dabs. So 1, 2, 3, very lightly, just enough. And I'm going to shake it up a bit, and I start to smell already the cinnamon spice. Alright, so there's a whole lot of other ingredients here which I will show you step by step how to incorporate them into the oatmeal, but really you can get creative, you can add anything. And next off, we're gonna add our banana. So make sure that it's ripe, just because it adds a little bit of natural sweetness to it. If it's got spots, this one is starting to get ripe, it's got some spots here, so don't get a yellow or green, I meant to say green banana. Those are not that ripe and they're not as sweet. So I'm just going to cut this banana in 2, and then be careful, don't cut yourself. And slice banana in there. I like little chunks, so that's why I cut the banana in 2 and then I sliced it. Okay. Anytime I add something, I want to stir it. Now you can see I'm going to show you. You can see the oats are mostly cooked, right? So that's why we start with a little bit of water, because we're going to finish it off with some non-dairy milk. That's why. So we want to have a little bit of water to start off to cook most of the way for the oats. Add in the banana at this point in time. The cinnamon's already in there. And then now, so it doesn't dry up completely, we're going to add in a non-dairy milk. So my favorite non-dairy milk is almond. This is unsweetened by Silk. I'm gonna shake it up, and really you can add in half a cup or just however much you wish. I think right now I just added a quarter of a cup. So again, we're going to mix. Okay, so now you can see the consistency. It's a little bit more liquefied. Yeah, we're not done yet cooking the oatmeal, so we're gonna let it cook throughout regardless. And in the meantime, I'm gonna show you how I like to incorporate my healthy fats into this meal. So like I say, with every main meal you consume, even snacks, if you like to consume snacks, there should be a balance of healthy carbs, healthy fats, and healthy protein. And by this, preferably something that is not saturated and that is, you know, that it's good for your digestion and it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. So oatmeal is great for many benefits. We know it's great for the heart, for blood pressure, for blood sugar. It's satiating because it actually fills you up. The high content in fiber. It even has protein. It has carbs. So the way that I like to add my fats in here is by nuts and seeds. Right now we can see it's starting to boil up again, so I'm going to turn it down a bit, but let it just kind of simmer in there. The two nuts I love to consume with oatmeal are sliced, or as you can see here, I'm almost done with my almonds. They're supposed to be sliced, but they're crumbles now left in there. And just right now, it's a good time to add 1 tablespoon is enough, so I just usually drizzle over it. The reason why I add it while it's cooking is so that it can soak up the flavor. But again, I'm starting to tone down the temperature little by little. I don't want it to boil anymore. Now I just want things to simmer. So now I'm at level 3 if you have the same stovetop. The next healthy fat I like to add is walnuts. So this is a huge bag of walnuts that I got from Trader Joe's, and it's 1 pound. I love walnuts. I add them into a whole lot of different recipes. So as you can see, this is proof that I actually consume them. Definitely add them to my oatmeal. So what I like to do is crush them. So maybe like a handful, or crushed 1 tablespoon. Okay, so if you already have them crushed, what I like to do is just crush them in here. It really depends. If you're a type of person that likes to eyeball things and you don't like to measure and just kind of play by ear, you can definitely wing it. If you're somebody that likes to do step by step every recipe, then I'm trying to hear and give you an estimate of how much everything will take. So okay, so at this point in time, we want to shut off or put in very low simmer our heat. And then I'm going to add the last piece of healthy fat, which is ground pumpkin seeds. Okay, so I buy raw pumpkin seeds and I grind them in a coffee grinder. You can do it in a high-speed blender if you have it, or in a NutriBullet or any of those things. And then I'm going to just add a tablespoon and drizzle over it. This gives it a nice texture, really soft, and it's a healthy fat. It's pumpkin seeds. You can look it up. It's great for many things, as so is everything else in here. One of the things I liked is that it's great for, it's got high protein content for a seed, and it also is good for parasite cleansing. So there you go. Okay, so now that we have our healthy fats, I just want to say, if you want to, totally optional, if you want to include some sort of like added protein, maybe you have this as a post-workout meal, or you want to add more protein than it already has. It already has protein, but just saying, you can also do that. The one that I consume and recommend is the raw organic protein by Garden of Life. This is organic, non-GMO, soy-free, dairy-free, vegan, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm okay for now. I don't want that and I don't need it right now, so I'm just gonna skip. The next ingredient is, and this is just an added bonus, it's up to you. Now at this point I'm gonna turn off the heat, is the dairy-free creamer. I kind of like to add this a little bit because it gives it an extra creaminess to my oatmeal. Alright, so at this point, The almond milk, it's already blended in there. All the nuts and the seeds are good in there. Okay, so really, if you, depending on how you like your oatmeal, you add less liquid, more solid, depending on if you like it sweeter or not. So I do not add any sugar in my oatmeal, because if the banana is ripe and you throw it in there while it's cooking, it should be enough to sweeten up the oatmeal. Also, if you use a milk that is sweetened or a creamer that is sweetened, then you don't need any extra sugar. All right, so watch out for that. If you, in this case, this milk is not sweetened, and the dairy-free creamer, it is sweetened, but it's only got like 1 gram of sugar. So the banana was ripe, so I know for a fact I don't need any extra sugar. But in case that you definitely want it and you love sugary oatmeal, I recommend not to put any processed or refined sugar. Go for stevia. I prefer liquid based because it's easy to mix in things, and you can literally go drop by drops without making it super strong. So with that said, we're done with our ingredients. The very last one, and my favorite one at this point, the heat is completely off on the stove, and the last ingredient here in the recipe is, last but not least, blueberries. So these are wild organic blueberries, and you can also use mixed berries or regular blueberries. Wild blueberries are smaller in size, and they still have antioxidants just like regular blueberries. But what I like about them is that you don't find them that often, and they have really good health properties. I can go on and talk about all the healthy benefits of everything that's in here, but just as a summary, the good thing about here is that it really antioxidant foods help to balance pretty much anything else that we combine it with. In this case, I like to put it in my oatmeal because it gives it a nice balance of flavor and health benefits. So I have it twisted backwards because that's how I'm looking at it, but let me turn it around so you can see. Definitely anytime you consume berries, preferably organic, because they are high in pesticides. I tend to spray those a lot, and I add in usually half a cup or 1/4 of a cup, I meant to say. If you really like berries, then don't be afraid to add a little more. In this case, add a little over 1/4 of a cup or 1/4 of a cup. And now I'm going to mix it in, and it's going to start to look very interesting because at this point we're not cooking the berries. This is just again, the heat of the stove is off. This is only mixing it in. So what I love about adding berries at the end is that the oatmeal is hot, the berries are cold because I buy them frozen. So when you put them in there, it gives it a perfect temperature because now everything is offsetting, right? Like the cold and the hot, it puts it in a nice temperature. I don't like my oatmeal too hot or too cold. If you like it one way or the other, then of course you can just use fresh blueberries and not frozen blueberries like I do. And there you have it. So this is the quick and easy oatmeal recipe. Right now I love my banana kind of like almost melted into my oatmeal. If you like the chunks of banana at the top and not melted, again, you can play around with this recipe and do it as you wish. You just don't add the banana towards the beginning. You add it at the end, or if you want to, you can add it, not add it at all and eat it on the side. So there really is many ways that you can make this. And I'm just gonna do a close-up so that you can see. Okay. And it looks out of this world. It smells amazing in here, so I will add it into a bowl. And then show you the end result. Looks could be deceiving, and that's why I tell people, if something smells good, it will probably taste good. But if something doesn't look good, don't judge it unless you try it, because you never know. So I'm not one of those that like to decorate my food like a whole lot. I go more by flavor and nutrition content than by the looks of things. So this may not look the most decorative of oatmeals, but I love it and it tastes amazing. So I'm gonna show you just how it looks from a consistency standpoint. Okay, so you can see here everything is very well mixed, and I do it in that order because that's the order that I like. I don't know if you can still see there's a little bit of like the heat coming off of the oatmeal, and that's normal, but I don't expect it to be really hot because of the berries and the milk that I added at the end. Okay, and this is a good portion, as you can see. It almost looks like it almost looks as like if it was like a smoothie bowl or an acai bowl, but it's not. So yeah, the good thing about it is that you can really get creative and you can add more things or less things as long as you keep them as whole food as possible. And there you have it. I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you do, try it. Let me know in the comments below. And until the next video.